We're going to fail English.
Is that really how you want to start it?
Yeah.
Are you sure? Really?
Well, I should say we were going to fail English. This is going to be a video about the kite runner. We'll do the kite runner first. We're going to make two videos. We'll put an annotation somewhere. You know, I used to be like, there's an annotation on this side, mate, click it, you know what I mean?
Sure.
We're going to do that. So there'll be an annotation somewhere on the video for the link to the Streetcar Named Desire video, but we're going to do the kite runner video now, aren't we? And we're going to be covering Americanisms.
Yeah.
So things you should be saying that are like American. We're going to be covering Farsi, so you get as many Farsi words in there as possible. And we are going to be covering chains and patterns throughout the novel. So things like the one-eyed theme of like the dog and things like that.
Yeah.
Anything else to input? No?
Nope.
Let's get to it.
Right, so the first thing we're going to do is run through some Farsi. We've got 10 or 11 words here that we think might be sort of needed, because if you need to speak to someone in the exam, or whatever, then you might need to use some Farsi words. So we're going to go through some for you to learn.
Yep, I'm going to say the Farsi, and then Phil is going to tell me the English, hopefully. So the first word we've got is Inshallah, which means...
God willing.
You can see how this is going to go. The second word is Moftakir, which means...
Proud.
The third word is Saratan, which means...
Cancer.
That's a serious one. The fourth word is Watan, which means... Which means...
Homeland. Sorry, can we do this again for time?
Which means...
Homeland.
The fifth word... Is it fifth already? Is Baba, which isn't his name, it means...
Father.
Little known fact. Sixth word is Amir, which translates to...
Leader.
That's a good one in your analysis. The seventh word is Salam, which means...
Hello.
Nice one to use if you're writing a letter or something. The eighth word is my favourite word, Shapandaz, which means...
Skilled horseman.
Yeah, so that's when he goes and he sees the Chapandaz get killed and he starts crying, so you could use that as like an example or something. The next word is Rausi, which means...
Russians.
Yeah, so it's just the Farsi word for Russian people. Use that if you're writing as Baba, because he's not as American as Amir, so he'd refer to the Russians as the Rausi, where Amir might refer to them as the Russians because he's more American. The next phrase is Dostet Darum, which means...
I love you.
Oh, thanks, Phil.
Wow.
And the last word is a really nice one. It's Zendagi Migzara, which means...
Life goes on.
Absolutely. The next thing we're going to quickly talk about is Americanisms. So Amir actually moves from Afghanistan at the age of like, what, 13 or something like that, 14? Or is it 17? No, I think it's about 17 actually, it's a bit later on. But anyway, he's still really a child, so when he grows up to the point where we see him in the second half of the novel, he's more American than he is Afghan, really. I'm sure you'd agree.
Yeah.
So one thing when you're writing as Amir is to make sure you write in a sort of an American style and not use as much Farsi. He still would use a bit of Farsi, that's his first language, but he's obviously now fluent in English and he's more American than he is Farsi, but, well, Afghan, but you know, he won't use as much Farsi. But what I'd say is, even though we're English students and we are obviously English, we need to try and avoid using English words such as... Amir wouldn't say, bloody hell, that was a blasted idea, that, Baba. He wouldn't say that. He'd be more like, come on, Baba, that'd be a real good idea, buddy. Like something like that, Maybe not that,
maybe not.
But, you need to use some sort of American language. So just think, I always think, I just think of like American films and stuff, and we've all seen them. We're very Americanised anyway in our country, so
yeah.
We'll lead with. You can think of any other American stereotype phrases?
Not really. Just like garbage and
yeah, take out the trash.
Yeah.
Yeah, things like that.
Try to avoid any like proper British words. Like don't say like, oh yeah, I'm gonna shank your mum or something like that. So
yeah.
Just keep it as American as possible, but don't go too American. If you go too American, then it'll sort of say that he wasn't even coming from Afghanistan at any point. So
yeah,
try not to overdo it with the Americanism, but don't do any British or anything like that.
Because Amir's not going to be going around like, yo, what's up my home dog, yo bro, give me some skin. Don't know about yourself.
Right, so now on to the final part of the video. We're going to talk about chains and patterns throughout the novel. We're going to start off with the sort of pattern of eyes that go through the whole book. You might not have realised it yet, but throughout the novel there's a lot of different sections where eyes are sort of involved. Like there's a one-eyed something or other.
Dog at the start.
There's a little dog with one eye. When the Sorab fires the slingshot and it hits Asaf in the eye as well and blinds him as well. There's that.
There's the when Hassan and Asaf have that confrontation.
Yeah.
He points the slingshot at him and he says, if you take another step, you'll be calling you Asaf, the one-eyed eater, or something like that. So one-eyed Asaf, that's it, one-eyed Asaf. So there's these that's sort of a prophecy that gets fulfilled with Sorab. But so just constantly throughout. I think there's another mention of like a woman with one eye or something. I think Sanabar might lose her eyesight or something.
When is that Hassan's mum?
Yeah.
When she comes in, she's got a cut that goes across her eye.
Yeah. There is a lot of mentions to eye. I don't know whether that's sort of it's trying like a message from Hosseini, whether it's like a, sort of an eye for an eye makes the whole world blind or something. I'm not sure, but definitely something to do with eyes. Just if you're going to do an analysis question, get that in because that's pretty key.
Yeah.
Other change patterns. We talk about blood. Throughout the whole novel, you just see there's non-stop blood, which is probably due to the fact that Hosseini sort of wants to show Afghanistan it is a place of violence now, but in the past he still uses these blood references, like when he talks about Amir's bike,
which is candy red and blood.
Yeah, so
blood red as well.
Yeah, so when he's describing that, he could just say, "Oh, it was a candy red bike," but he says it's candy red or blood. So he constantly brings this theme of blood in. There's blood splattering everywhere when Asaf gets his eye taken out.
There's also when Amir's throwing pomegranates at Hassan, and then he covers them all in red, and he says it's like covered in blood, stuff like that. So yeah. And
there's when Sorab is self-harming, tries to take his own life in the bathtub. They said there's just pools of blood everywhere. So that's a really obvious one, and there's loads of examples you can use. That I'm sure you'll know some that we've not mentioned, but you can just choose loads of examples from that. Is there anything else we need to?
There's eyes, blood.
Plants and stuff.
But I don't know much about that.
Yeah, so the last thing we just want to say is about plants. You see quite a lot of vegetation knocking around in the novel. So you've got like the pomegranate tree at the start. Amir and Hassan are climbing up a tree, firing that slingshot. There's what else is there? I think they said there's a lack of trees when you go back to like Kabul and stuff. They just seem to a lot mention. It's very sort of, I don't know. They paint a very clear image of all these different plants, and there's the flowers growing in the spring and stuff, and so
that all seems to disappear when they move to America though.
Yeah,
because there's when obviously you go to America, there's not that many plants and trees knocking about, so it could sort of represent that when they move to America, things start going downhill when there's a loss of plants. Might not just be talking about the loss of plants, it might be talking about the fact that even Baba having cancer, just things just going downhill and losing faith and stuff like that.
There's quite a few mentions of just weather in general. When he says about hope building, one snowflake at a time falling and things like that. The first shoots of spring. So just the weather and plants and stuff, that's worth a mention.
So we've reached the end of the video. Thanks for watching. Hope that you've taken in these tips and you use them in your exam.
Thank you for watching. There'll be an annotation somewhere for the streetcar video. We're going to make them simultaneously, so that'll be there. So if you do streetcar as well, you can go and watch that. If Mrs. Mates is watching, hi Mrs. Mates. I know you're a big fan. So thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you next time.